Okay, so we live in a world where everyone is sharing everything, right? Pictures of their breakfast, vacation selfies, minute-by-minute updates, our feeds are just flooded. And yet, hiding in plain sight are the ghosts, the people who are there, but you never see them. You probably know someone just like this. Or, hey, maybe it's you. So, what's going on there? Let's dive into the psychology of these social media ghosts.
I mean, think about it. In a world where likes and shares have become this weird form of social currency, why would anyone choose to be invisible? What is actually going on inside the head of that person who never ever posts a photo of themselves? It's a question that gets more and more interesting every single day.
Now, the easy answer, the one we all kind of jump to, is to just assume they're insecure, or maybe they're shy, or they just don't care. But those simple answers, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. The reality is way more complex, with some deep psychological reasons hiding just below the surface. And honestly, they might just surprise you.
All right, first things first. Let's tackle the biggest misconception right off the bat. For a lot of these online ghosts, their choice to stay hidden has absolutely nothing to do with low self-esteem. In fact, for many of them, it's the exact opposite.
So let's meet our first archetype, the secure self-esteem type. These are people who simply aren't looking for validation from the outside world because their sense of self-worth is already built on a solid internal foundation. When you already know your worth, you just don't need 1,000 strangers on the internet to confirm it for you.
You can really think of this as two totally different value systems. One is all about the outside stuff, the likes, the comments, the metrics. The other is based on what's going on inside. Well, the secure self-esteem type, they are living entirely in that second column. Their confidence isn't measured in little hearts on a picture, it's just there.
Okay, let's move on to our next big motivation. This one is less about self-worth and way more about self-preservation. In an age where oversharing is the norm, some people are very consciously, very intentionally drawing a line in the digital sand.
And this brings us to what we can call the private protector. I mean, with everything from data breaches to just, the simple fact that the internet is forever, these people see their personal life as something that needs to be actively guarded. For them, not posting a photo isn't an oversight. It is an intentional act of controlling their own story and protecting themselves from that constant public eye.
And, this group also includes a lot of introverts. While they might be perfectly happy scrolling through content, the actual act of posting can feel like a performance, a task that just sucks up all their social battery. They tend to thrive in smaller, more personal interactions. So broadcasting their life to hundreds of strangers, that's an energy exchange they would much rather avoid. It's all about conserving that precious social energy.
And this quote, man, it really gets to the heart of another huge reason people stay hidden. The second you put a photo out there, you are, whether you like it or not, inviting judgment. You're opening yourself up to comments, opinions, and interpretations from everyone, the good and the bad. And for some people, that feeling of vulnerability is it's too much. This is the judgment avoider. The anxiety of being misunderstood or criticized or even just seen in a way they didn't intend, it can be completely overwhelming, and it just outweighs any possible benefit of posting. So it's super important not to mistake this for arrogance or for being antisocial. For many, it's a practical and frankly necessary choice for their psychological well-being. By choosing to opt out, they're sidestepping a major source of stress and just protecting their own peace of mind. It's a totally valid form of self-care.
Finally, let's explore what might be the deepest psychological driver of all. This one goes beyond just privacy and fear. It's about a fundamental conflict between the curated, perfect world of social media and the desire for a messy, genuine identity.
And this is where we meet the authenticity seeker. This is the person who feels that posting a photo, a single polished moment in time, is actually a distortion of who they really are. They believe their true self is complex and messy and just way too profound to be captured in a perfectly angled selfie. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see it, right? This is not a passive choice. For the social media ghost, staying offline is an active decision. It's a deliberate act of protecting their personal space, their mental peace, and their true sense of self in a digital world that so often demands a performance. So what if the choice not to post isn't a sign of weakness at all? What if it's actually a quiet display of incredible strength?
They don't need the likes and comments because they are already secure in their own worth. And in our hyper-visible world, that is a truly powerful stance to take.
Now that we've explored these different archetypes, it's a really good moment to reflect. This isn't just about figuring other people out, it's about understanding our own motivations for how we decide to engage or not engage online.
So we've met the secure self-esteem type, who just doesn't need the likes, the private protector, who guards their personal space and their energy, the judgment avoider, who is protecting their mental health, and the authenticity seeker, who just refuses to be simplified. Do you see yourself, or maybe someone you know, in any of these?
And that leaves us with one final, very important question to ask yourself. When you post, is your main goal to genuinely connect with other people, or is it maybe to be seen and validated? The answer to that question might just tell you more about yourself than any selfie ever could.